Coming to you live from the Wallace Civic Center on the campus of Fitchburg State University. It is Hockey Night in Fitchburg here on FATV. I'm John Gergety, joined by Dan Bolak and Nola Patty, as today the Falcons of Fitchburg State University play host to the Trailblazers of MCLA. Dan, it's the first meeting between these teams since the MASCAC title game.
Of course, what a classic game that was here in Fitchburg about 10 months ago. The Falcons of Fitchburg State, the 4th seed in the MASCAC. The MCLA Trailblazers, the 8th seed in the MASCAC. Getting to do battle in a magical game. The Falcons won that 3-1, won their 3rd MASCAC championship, went on to the NCAA tournament for the 2nd time. Now coming back into today's game, both teams you could arguably say are better than they were 10 months ago.
Fitchburg State has started their season 11-5. They are 4-1 in the MASCAC, but Nola, that 11-5 record doesn't really tell the whole story. The Falcons are on fire right now.
Absolutely. This freshman line of Niles Badapagli and Filimonov have combined for 77 points on the season. It's been outstanding seeing them come in, take over not just the MASCAC, but D3 hockey as a whole. The goaltending, the defense, they've all been working so well together. The veteran leaders stepping up in this later half of the season, in this last few stretches of games. They've been playing gritty, hard-nosed hockey, and it's been so much fun to watch.
Fitchburg State's won 10 out of their last 11 games. They started on a 3-game losing streak, lost their first 3 games of the season, but have won 10 of their last 11, including 3 in a row. We take a look at the other side, Dan, in MCLA. They recently broke a 5-game winless streak of their own.
Yep, came away with a 4-2 win over Post back on Thursday night. Kate Herrera had a goal and assist. Sean Schifferl, Walter Brown, and Connor Nagy all had goals. 4 different Trailblazers had assists. Rocco Stoles made 32 saves. MCLA went 2 for 2 on the kill. Were outshot by the Eagles 34-30. Of note, didn't get a chance to test the power play in that contest. All the penalties that Post committed in the contest canceled out by MCLA matching minors.
Nola, you talked about the freshmen, the youth that has been powering these Falcons to that 11-5 record, including, again, winning 10 of their last 11 games. You look at the point scorers for the Falcons, their 2 top leading scorers are freshmen.
Yeah, and it's amazing to see how they've been able to come to the college hockey game and develop their skills, right? You know, we talk about that jump from juniors to college hockey. It can be hard for some players, mentally, physically, emotionally, and they've just come in with such grace and really shined on this team.
Those 2 freshmen being...
Well, 3 freshmen, you should say.
3 freshmen. Dan, tell us more.
Yeah, so of course those 3 freshmen, who have been dominating things for the Falcons. Alexei Filimonov, 2nd in the nation in assists per game, 2nd overall with 21 assists. Devin Niles, 11th in goals per game. He's got 12 goals in the season, including 2 goals just 2 nights ago against Framingham State in a 7-2 win. Matai Badapaglia has also been a dominant 3rd person on that line. He's got a number of points to his name, 10 goals, 10 assists for 20 points. They're all very, very strong players. And, we talked about it a bit, late last season. We talked about it during this season as well, that last year the Falcons didn't really have any true game breakers, players who could break a game open. And the Falcons are very fortunate to have a whole line that could just take over an ice hockey game.
Seems like they've got 3 explosive, dynamic freshman scorers who are contributing not only this season, but for years to come is the hope for Fitchburg. You take a look, Nola, at the other side for MCLA. They really don't have as many point-scoring options. Their leading scorer on the season, Kate Herrera, there are 4 or 5 guys on the Falcons who have contributed more points than Herrera, and again, Herrera leads the Trailblazers. For MCLA, how are they going to be able to develop more of an offensive attack? How are they going to put goals in the net? Because we know the Falcons can score.
Absolutely. They're going to have to capitalize on some of these turnovers that the Falcons have been giving up in these past few games. Their defense is strong, their goaltending is strong, but these minor mistakes that the Falcons make, MCLA really has to capitalize on those, and they need to play a gritty style of hockey and just continuously get pucks on net and see what can arise from those opportunities and just, play a hard MASCAC game. This is MASCAC hockey. It's gritty, it's hard, it's a fun game to watch.
And a lot of times, Dan, when you're talking about MASCAC hockey in general, you live and die by your goaltender. We saw that last season with the playoff run MCLA went on. Their goaltending has been a key factor in the success they've had this season as well.
Yep. Last year Matt Gover was, to my opinion, the best goaltender in the MASCAC. He was tremendous in goal for the Trailblazers, helped get them to the MASCAC championship game. But ice hockey was always his second sport, and He is now down at Huntington College in Alabama, getting better at golf every day. So MCLA needed someone to step up in goal, and Rocco Stoles, a freshman, has been dominant in goal. The freshman from Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, a .944 save percentage this season, despite a 4-5-2 record, a .229 goals against. He's fourth in the nation in save percentage. He's faced 140 shots more than the goalie in third, that's Selby Warren of Salve Regina, and he's faced 50 shots more than the top two goalies in save percentage combined.
Rocco Stoll's certainly been a standout in net. Looks like he will get the start for the Trailblazers today. But if we're talking about goaltending, Nola, we have to talk about Fitchburg's incredible duo.
The tandem of Soderberg and Macchione, it is just incredible what they can do together, feeding off each other's energy. Great to have Macchione back here in the second semester. Was dealing with injury in that first semester, so having him back in net has been such a mood booster and motivation for this Falcons team.
We'll send it down to our public address announcer, Jim LaPointe, for the introduction of the starting lineups and our national anthem. It is Hockey Night in Fitchburg here on FATV.
Coaches and spectators, we request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, racial, or sexist comments directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team reps will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the site of competition. Please respect all athletes on the ice and enjoy the spirit of the game. It's now time to introduce the starting lineups for the visiting Trailblazers. At forward, a junior from Brentwood, California, number 17, Cade Herrera. At forward, a junior from Champaign, Illinois, number 27, Quinn Murphy. At forward, a junior from Albany, New York, number 89, Chris Gallagher. At defense, a junior from Bear, Delaware, number 9, Shane Green. At defense, a junior from West Springfield, Mass, number 5, Luke Faricione. And in goal, a freshman from Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, number 32, Rocco Stoltz. MCLA is coached by Marco Gloss in his first season, assisted by Tanner Flax. And now the starting lineup for your Fitchburg State Falcons. At forward, a freshman from St. Petersburg, Russia, number 17, Alexei Filimonov. At forward, a freshman from Hatfield, Massachusetts, number 10, Devin Niles. At forward, a freshman from Cheshire, Connecticut, number 14, Ty Badapaglia. At defense, a junior from Melbourne, Australia, number 27, Declan Bronte. At defense, a junior from Windham, New Hampshire, number 6, Andrew Wolosin. And in goal, a junior from Harrison Township, Michigan, number 30, Pretty Soderberg. Fitchburg State is coached by Dean Fuller in his 42nd season, assisted by associate head coach Tom Patty, assistants Chris Kynes, Mike Chartrand, Kevin Lizotte, and Cam Isabel. Today's referees, Aaron Townsend and Chris Saka, linesman Andrew Mills and Jack Makomiski. Ladies and gentlemen, student, at this time, I'd ask you all to please stand as we honor our nation and the flag with a playing of the national anthem.
Hockey Night in Fitchburg here on FATV. I'm John Gugerty, joined by Nola Patty and Dan Bullock. There is plenty of room available here at the Wallace Civic Center. Good crowd on hand, but if you are in the area, we absolutely encourage you to come on down just off John Finch Highway in Fitchburg. But if you are all curled up nice and cozy on your couch, we completely understand. Perhaps you know someone out North Adams Way, or indeed anywhere in this world of ours who might be interested in this game. Just tell them to go to fatv.org/watch-FATV. That is where you will find all the many ways to watch FATV. I know, again, that you are watching FATV, but tell other people. We want to grow the cult. I mean, audience, Nola, right?
Absolutely.
MCLA in the dark blue jerseys and pants with gold trim. They will be right to left. Fitchburg State in the gold and green. Starting from the left side. And as we get ready for the first period of action here with the play-by-play is Mr. Dan Bolak.
Thank you very much, John. Devin Niles and Quinn Murphy to take the opening draw in this contest, and we are underway. Sixth MASCAC game of the season for both of these teams on a schedule of 14 as Luke Fricchione dumps it in and commits icing 9 seconds into the contest.
That was quick. That was fun.
And you got to think the air feels a little bit different here in the Civic Center. I mean, the last time MCLA made the trip up here, it was heartbreak for them. Great for the Falcons, able to come back as the 4th seed, but amazing for MCLA to make it as that 8th seed in the tournament, taking down top teams such as Plymouth and Anna Maria.
And with the conference back down to 8 teams now that Plymouth State is on to the Little East and UMass Dartmouth's on to the Little East, there's not going to be an 8th seed this year in the playoffs. Top 6 of 8 as Rocco Stoles will make his first save of the contest on that shot off the draw.
And as we take a quick look at the MASCAC standings, Fitchburg State 4-1 in conference. They have 12 points on the year. Currently 2 behind Anna Maria, but Anna Maria has played 1 more game, so.
And that was a game on Thursday against Worcester State. Went down to a shootout, which Anna Maria won, but it means they dropped a point, so the Falcons can leapfrog ahead of the AmCats with a regulation victory today. Quinn Murphy on the far side, dispossessed briefly by Devin Niles, and that's turned back towards goal. Rocco Stoles will make the save. Want to go over the goaltending matchup for today's game. Rocco Stoles, 13th appearance, 12th start, 4-5-2 record, 229 goals against, 944 save percentage. He faces 41 shots a game. Meanwhile, for the Falcons, it's another Michigan native, Freddie Soderberg, 13th appearance, 13th start, 8-2 record, 210 goals against, 938 save percentage, and 3 clean sheets. These are the 2 best goalies in the conference this season.
It's great to see them battle it out today.
Goals could be at a premium. They usually are when these 2 teams take to the ice. The regulation games last year between these 2 teams were 1-0 in overtime and 2-1 in overtime. And even the playoff game was 3-1. Again, goals are really hard to come by when these 2 teams play each other. Spencer Craig has it back behind his own goal line, tries to push up far side, Joshua Romanowski. Trying to get it out of the zone. Marcus Macchione standing strong on the far side. Gets to the red line, dumps right back in. Stoles knocks it down. Leaves it for Craig on the far side. Tries to get back for Romanowski, having a little bit of trouble carrying on with it. Anthony DeLuca tries to dispossess. Marcus Macchione protects Hunter Dunn with a little bit of space, gets it to Skaggs across for Nolan Sargent. Shot through traffic, and Stoles is able to knock that one down. Leaping up in the air a little bit, not quite sure if he saw it the whole way. Dumped into the zone, MCLA will change lines. A little over a minute and a half gone in this contest. Stretch pass, here's John Manto with a shot that rises high over the net. Off the boards to the near side. Sam Ziss trying to pass to the neutral zone. Couldn't get to Odessa. Another shot punched away by DeLuca. Nicholas Milhorn behind the net for the Falcons. John Mantone there as well. On the far side, we will have a whistle, a hand pass indicated with 1:57 gone. The Falcons have the first 6 shots in this contest.
I know we talked a lot about that freshman line of Niles, Badapagli, and Filimonov, but other freshmen have been contributing as well. Mantone and DeLuca, 2 freshmen who have come in and also contributed to the score sheet for the Falcons. So awesome to see this whole grade of students coming in and just being so dynamic for the team.
The Falcons spoiled by death. They may have 1 line that can take over and dominate a game, but each of the other 3 lines is just as capable of scoring.
We talk so much about the cyclical nature of scholastic sports. When you have freshmen who come in and contribute the way the Falcons do, is there's a goal. we were just talking about it, Nola. It's the freshman. It's John Mantone, the freshman from Nashua. Gets his 4th goal of the season. The Falcons have an early lead.
Again, just rushing that puck towards the net, seeing what you can get to go for you. And the Falcons obviously take the early lead here. And again, these freshmen have just been outstanding.
John Mantone led the handshake line. We'll get confirmation on the goal, but the Falcons quickly striking. That won't go for icing. It was tipped on the way. McKinney dropping it back. Saavedra is dispossessed. There's a shot, couldn't get much on it. Cody White had the takeaway, but couldn't really get much towards Freddie Soderberg. Declan Bronte up far side. Saavedra gets it to the neutral zone, but it'll be taken away by Green. Shane Green will stretch it back for White around the boards. Soderberg slows it down just a little bit. Held on the far side by Saavedra, and now Chris Zapata gains the red, backhands it into the zone.
John Mantone. Assistant to number 5, Andre Bungaround. And number 24, Nick Milhorn. Time of the goal, 2:15, first period.
Andrei Bondarev, the midseason transfer from the Milwaukee School of Engineering, gets the primary assist. Nicholas Milhorn gets himself another assist as well, his 7th of the campaign. Here is Devin Niles into the zone. It's going to be a delayed offside against the Falcons, as that was held up just enough at the line. 16:31 to go in the first, 1-0 Falcons.
One thing that has been so great about this freshman line is their forechecking abilities. They're so high pressure on the forecheck, it allows them to get extra opportunities in the offensive zone.
Draw comes outside the MCLA zone. Won by the Falcons. Sargent tries to push it forward. Gets enough of a touch on the red line that it'll waive the icing. MCLA will try to dig it out. Bring it up the far side. Dumped in around the boards, looking for Vukovic. Just past him. Kieran Kenny trying to throw that towards goal. Goes off a leg in front behind the net, Easton Moore. And now Vukovic. Centers, but nothing there. To the near side. That's going to be knocked up in the air. It'll stay in play, go off the rear end of Kenny. Puck will migrate out of the zone. Back in, over and back, and we'll have a whistle. 15:52 to go in the first. Let's thank our FATV underwriters.
Fitchburg Access Television's remote productions are brought to you in part by Rollstone Bank and Trust, Acme Carpet One, All One Credit Union, the Sentinel and Enterprise, Minuteman Press, and Unitil.
Our thanks to our FATV underwriters who help make all of these remote productions possible, as that shot from Hunter Dunn goes through the paint out the other side into the right wing corner. Bandara tries to throw it back towards goal. It's blocked in front. That one dumped down the ice. It'll actually end up going on target, and Soderberg will cover that up.
So Dan, I need you to be honest with me for a second. How furious with me are you that in our first Falcon game together, I stepped all over the first Fitchburg State goal?
That's 2 Falcon goals in a row you've stepped over now.
You know, details. You didn't answer the question.
Well,
He's still not answering the question. It's fine. We'll move on.
I knew the moment that you tried jumping into that one, it's like, they're probably going to score on this now. And they did. Maybe you have to do that more. Here's Dunn. Into the left circle. Thrown across. Mandara can't get a stick on it. Had a good opportunity there in front of Scholes. Now stretch up. Here's Kate Herrera with a break. Herrera's shot. Wow. Missed wide, went off the stanchion and flew.
Both teams really creating opportunities from almost nothing. We saw Fitchburg State with a couple very early on. MCLA there got a simple turnover, led to a shot on goal. We'll take another look.
Yeah, it's just a misread, miscommunication for the Falcons. Bondarev all the way down net, got almost a shot opportunity, and then just a tough break for the Falcons defense, almost a dangerous opportunity for MCLA.
MCLA unofficially still looking for their first shot on target. Here's an opportunity here. Vukovic misses the net. Okay, not quite there. A little over 5 minutes gone as that's centered in front, but finds a Falcon to send DeLuca, but he's not able to get that away. Charles Vukovic tries to get that turned towards goal. That's not going. Mantone shakes off a hit, gains the zone. Milhorn just onside.
very generous call to see just onside.
Well, that's the broadcaster's way of saying, yeah, maybe he wasn't, but saying it in a more diplomatic way. Declan Bronte on the far side, can't get it out of the zone, backhanded back into the right wing corner for Easton Moore. Sam Ziss, one to center, got nothing on it. DeLuca sends it around the boards, kept it at the right side by Connor Nagy. Around into the left wing corner. Falcons will try to stretch it up. That won't get to Mantone. Found a Trailblazer stick, Charlie Odessa. Will settle that down, hold it behind the net. Out to the far side, stretched up, knocked down, and taken by the Falcons. Get a stick on that one, but it's on the wrong side of the red line. It'll go all the way down. And Nagy will get to the hash marks and goal line to get the icing. 13:45 to go in the first, 1-0 Falcons.
Great to see this line starting to connect again. Bove had a goal in that Framingham game. Zapata had a goal in that NEC game. Saavedra getting back in the lineup this year, making his name known in a couple of games. So great to see these guys collaborating together, and obviously that deep pairing of Skaggs and Sargent, they've worked so well together over these past few years.
Now a senior, Jack Saavedra has worked hard to now become an everyday player for the green and gold. Skaggs can't keep it in at the right point. Falcons will have to scram the zone. Skaggs will try to backhand in, gets knocked down by Connor Nagy. Second effort puts it back in the zone, but comes right back out. And here's Walter Brown up the left side, stretched across. Ends up going off of a Falcons skate and Skaggs towards goal instead of a Trailblazer. But Soderberg's there anyway.
It was great defensive work by Skaggs. It might have been more impressive if he knew what he was doing. He did not take his head. He did not look down at the puck. He just got his skate in the right position.
Skaggs did have a goal last time out against Framingham State 2 nights ago. That was his second of the campaign. Centered through out in front, couple of jam chances. Didn't get a whole lot on, but Soderberg there anyway. A shot through traffic, cut down in front. Second chance saved by Soderberg off the stick of Sean New. We can now say MCLA properly has shots in this contest. Falcons get out of the zone. Herrera, he scored in the MASCAC championship game last season. The most dangerous player MCLA has at their disposal with 7 goals and 6 assists this season. Around the boards to the far side, settled down. Filimonov in front for Battapaglia, ran out of space, drew the penalty, but it's brought back to Filimonov, who shoots and scores! There's that freshman line there, those dynamics, and the Falcons have a 2-0 lead.
It's just that extra skating. Filimonov turns on the Jets, starts crashing down towards net, finds Battapaglia. You think the play is done, but the extra effort from the freshman, and the Falcons up 2-0.
I could have sworn someone told me goals would be at a premium.
They often are, but I'm also the type of announcer who curses the game the entire time as well.
Oh, so you're an announcer. I got you.
Falcons push it out of the zone. Filimonov harassing Luke Fricchione, the former Worcester State Lancer. Puck pokes free on the far side. Trailblazers get it across the neutral zone. Into the right wing corner. Sam Perdian gets a pass off. Now comes to Green. The shot to the point, blocked all the way. Battapaglia getting in the way. Now here's a stretch pass. Filimonov's got another chance. He puts it wide.
These Falcons just never let up.
Here's Perdian trying to take it all the way to goal. Good reinforcements by Marcus Macchione to knock it down with the active stick.
Falcons' second goal scored by number 17, Alexei Filimonov. Assist number 14, Ty Battapaglia. Time of that goal, 7:55, first period.
Filimonov gets the goal. He's got his 10th of the season. Battapaglia with his 11th assist of the campaign. The Falcons with a 2-0 lead. We're still in the first half of the first period as Dunn shoots. That's blocked in front. Green got in the way. After the left point, Sargent through traffic, but isn't able to find its way through the other side. Odessa Up the center of the ice, left it there. Trailblazers will just pound it into the zone and switch off the lines. Stretched up for Dunn on the far side. Dunn keeps control of it, gets it to Collins. Look for Macchione, but it's over his stick. Macchione tries to protect the puck. We now get a scrum in the right wing corner. Eventually poked free by the Trailblazers, but still having trouble moving it along. Here's Nagy. Gets a little push off, and that's enough to get it to Quinn Murphy. Murphy gains the red line, dumps it in. Soderberg settles it, wraps it around the boards. Pass off the stick of Milhorn at the blue line. For Guillaume, for Craig. Backhanded, but found Declan Bronte instead. Bronte gets the shot, that's patted away by Stoles. Right wing corner, Mantone. Puck rides the Dashers to Nicholas Milhorn. Left point, shot saved by Stoles. Shots 11-2 unofficially with 9:25 to go in the first period, and icing against the Trailblazers.
MCLA looking like they're just trying to survive here. Not a lot of clean zone entries for them, more just dump and chase, just trying to get the puck out of their defensive end. And I mean, the shots on goal total kind of speaks that to truth, so great pressure by the Falcons, forecheck, back check, defensive pressure, offensive pressure. They're just doing the little things right, which is what they have been doing in these first periods of their last stretch of games.
Falcons average 32.25 shots a game this season. MCLA gives up a little over 39 shots a game. Stoles himself has been facing closer to 41, a season high of 66. That was just a week and a half ago against Williams. 63 of 66 and a 3-3 tie against the East. Second most saves that any goaltender has made in a game this season. Andrew Wallison in the starting lineup today. Although he's listed on the line chart as the 7th defenseman. Not too often that the extra gets into the starting lineup. Up the near side, here's Cody White. Tries the self-pass. Chris Talbot gets there instead. Protected on the far side. Here's the Falcons bring it up ice again from Beauvais. Across Zapata. Tried to feed Bondarev, who was up on the left side of the paint, but the pass was out of his reach. Back around the boards, trying to find Beauvais, but again, too far out of his reach for him, and all the way back down.
Nola, you used a word a couple of minutes ago, the word pressure, and that word really exemplifies what we're seeing from Fitchburg State in these first 12 minutes. Nothing is coming easily for MCLA. Fitchburg State is applying pressure on the defensive end. They are applying pressure, getting the puck up the ice with haste as soon as they have it.
Great save by Stoles on the one-timer from Filimonov, and what a pass from Devin Niles to get it there.
And that's another example of that pressure.
Absolutely, and you got to think, as the goalkeeper for MCLA, seeing Filimonov, who can score from any angle, sitting right on your doorstep, that has to be a confidence booster for him making that save.
Stoles already with 10 saves in this contest. 7:49 to go in the first. Falcons lead 2-0 on goals from John Mantone and Alexei Filimonov.
And after that last whistle, we saw Stoles lean back on the pipes and almost take a deep breath.
There's a shot that redirects in! Trent Skaggs got the shot! Batapaglia might have gotten the piece! It's 3-0 Falcons!
And if it stands, as we see Niles going through, great shot here from Skaggs. Looked like that went in off of Niles. And that's the Falcons offense just working so well together, circling the puck, moving possession between the players, and just, you know, seeing if they can get the puck on net. Who's there to tip it in? None other than Devin Niles.
I love the shrug from Niles afterward. Kind of looking at his teammates like, yeah, I didn't intend to do that, but for the moment at least it's good.
Our officials today, Aaron Townsend and Christopher Saka, are our referees. Jack Mikomiski and Andrew Mills are our linesmen. They'll discuss this one, see if they were satisfied with how it all developed.
Wow.
It'll be waved off. You know, Niles did have strong positioning in the blue paint. I'm guessing that's the issue on that one.
Wonder if they're going to call for goalie interference.
No goal on the play, goaltender interference.
And
No
that's
goal.
it's in an incidental manner.
That's the call that, you know, probably one of the most controversial calls in the sport of hockey is goalie interference. It looks like he was parked right in that back post.
That may have been why Niles was a little hesitant to celebrate on that one. And after all, you even said going into the replay, you said if it stands. So even you kind of suspected that this might not count, and it ultimately does not.
Goals scored kind of from in that paint area. Always a little suspect, obviously overturned for the Falcons.
And remember, in high school and college hockey, there's a little less tolerance for establishing yourself in the blue paint. They really do not want you in there. Even if you're not necessarily interfering with the goaltender, if you've established presence in the blue paint and the puck is not available in the blue paint, the officials are going to be more likely to chalk that goal off. So it is 2-0 with 7:13 to go in the first period. The Falcons with 2 goals. MCLA has 2 shots on target, as it says on the big green board right now. To the neutral zone and thrown back in by the Trailblazers. Romanowski behind the net. Soderberg swings along to the far. Dunn lost it for a moment, got it back. Pushes it into the Trailblazerettes end. Luke Riccione. Riccione behind the net. To the near side for Easton Moore, one of the captains of this Trailblazer side. Charles Vukovic for Moore. Into the right wing corner. And behind the net and around. Here's Kurdian. MCLA's just trying to find a shooting lane. The Falcons tenacious, not letting them get any opportunities. Greg goes back behind the net. Moore, Riccione. His shot is blocked. Off the skate of Marcus Macchione, and he'll retrieve it. Push it out of the zone. Stretched up but knocked down by Craig. And a pass misses the defenseman and goes all the way back to the Falcon end. They'll try stretching it up again. There'll be a race to the hash marks. Falcons have superior positioning, so the icing is waived. MCLA trying to get it out of the zone again. Bronte in the neutral zone. Cody White to the far side. Trailblazers gain the blue. Still trying to keep control of that puck, just never got a clean shot away. Milhorn on the far side. There's Mantone. Or across. Nothing going there. Now we'll have a whistle. Net is ajar with 5:21 to go in the first. Shots 12-2 in favor of the Falcons, and the score 2-0 in their favor as well.
If the Falcons had MCLA under any more pressure, Vanilla Ice would rip off their gameplay. This has been an incredible performance in this first period by Fitchburg State.
And this is how their first periods have gone for most of the season. Dominant hockey. And it's just great to see that they're continuing that narrative here.
Falcons win the draw. Saavedra's shot shouldered away by Stolz. Beauvais trying to win that puck with some strong stick work. Saavedra crunched into the boards. And now a shot by Zapata, turned aside by Stolz. That goes off the glass, down the ice, strikes the official, and does eventually go for icing. Would have been icing in one direction, ultimately icing in the other direction. But boy, it was close to being on target and not icing at all.
I thought it was going to get in on Soderberg, but it took that little bounce off the gentleman in the striped shirt. Hey, he's part of the surface.
One thing that's scary about this Falcons team is that when they commit to a hit, they see it fully through. So even if you get rid of the puck and you think, okay, he's not going to finish on his hit, oh yes, he will. So it's great to see the Falcons team just getting really in the action early here.
There's a shot and a save, another shot falling down, and a save by Stolz. Niles tries to shoot again, but that's blocked by White. Filimonov out to the left point. Podarev with a shot looking for a redirection in front. More chances for the Falcons. Now 15 shots unofficially in this first period of play. They had 15 shots 2 nights ago against Framingham State in the first period of play and held the Rams to just 4. Halbig finds a space, gets it through all the traffic, and it's gloved by Rocco Stolz.
And you gotta think, there's 4 freshmen out on the ice right now. They weren't here last year when this championship game was played, but they understand the culture of Falcon hockey. Just extra possessions has been the name of the game. Great save there, but the Falcons, I mean, they've looked unstoppable this first period.
They're playing the period they want to play, and the Falcons win that draw as well. Marcus Macchione around to the left side for Hunter Dunn. Back for Bondarev. With Dunn behind the nets. It goes to Macchione. Out to the left point, now across. Bondarev for Hallbig. Through all the traffic again, but this time off target. Chris Gallagher on the red line. Will fling it into the zone. Soderberg settles. Sends it around the boards again to the far side. Soderberg's had to do that more times than he's had to actually stop a shot in this first period. Hallbig throws it wide. Falcons keep a hold of it on the left side. Now Bronte had it pop off his stick. They can't back it out of the zone. Bronte keeps that in. But Gallagher will now get a hold of that puck. Wired off the glass. Bronte settles it. Cade Herrera trying to dispossess. He will do that. Herrera wore 93 that last season. This season wearing 17. Takes the 85-footer. Soderberg makes the stop. Just his third save required. Great chance in front, but it goes wide. Popped off the heel of the stick, and now the Falcons coming back with numbers. It's a 2-on-1. Devin Niles into the zone. Shoots. It goes high. Into the right wing corner. Battapaglia pokes it free. Left side, Wallison shot. Shouldered away by Stoles. Now left in front. Falling down, pushing that puck along was Easton Moore. Just barely comes out of the zone. Bronte has to keep it away from the Trailblazers and keep it out of the zone as well. Now the Falcons can re-enter. Behind, here's a shot that deflects off the leg of Kieran Kenny and into the netting and out of play. 2:47 to go in the first. 2-0 Falcons.
MCLA's defense just kind of sinking into the zone a little bit, and the Falcons defense has some open lanes from up top. You know, the goal just got called off a few plays ago, but that's how the Falcons scored that third goal, right? It was right from the top, got a tip on it in the crease, and MCLA's defense just sinking in a little bit in that zone.
Really, whenever Fitchburg State scores against MCLA, it's always at highly close range. It's always right at the top of the paint, basically. So here's Ziss in the left corner. He'll be crunched into the boards illegally. We'll have our first power play of the game.
I think, Dan, this power play opportunity coming up for the Trailblazers is very, very important for them. You hate to say it's a must score in the first period, but Nola, the way these first 17 and a half minutes have gone for MCLA, they've been on the back foot the entire time. They're already down 2 goals. You have to think they really want to have this deficit right now.
Absolutely, it's momentum going into the locker room. Knowing you have one up on the board, you can start to build off of that, but the Falcons look like they've been playing power play in regular 5-on-5 hockey, maintaining possession in the offensive zone. So now the Trailblazers have the man-up opportunity, and capitalizing here, as you said, would be crucial.
MCLA's power play, 8 for 44 this season. That's 18.2%, 7th out of 8 teams in the MASCAC, 61 out of 91 teams in Division III. The Falcons kill 10th in the nation, best in the conference at 88.7%.
24, Nick Milhorn, a 2-minute minor for hitting from behind. Time of that penalty, 17-31, first period.
Checking from behind the penalty against the Michigan native Nicholas Milhorn. Penalty minutes 17 and 18 for him on the campaign. Up the center of the ice, here's Cody White. White taking all the way to the left circle. Out to the point from Moore. Back for White on the near side, and now Moore. Touch on to the right side, but out of the reach of Quinn Murphy. Behind the net, Falcons able to get it out of the zone, and nicely caught there on the bench by Shane Green.
You don't lose your awareness just because you head to the bench. You watch the play, because stuff like that can happen.
Faceoff comes to the right of Freddie Soderberg. A race to see who controls this one. That fun official score deciding who won that faceoff as the Falcons clear it down the length of the ice. Rocco Stoles, he's made 16 saves in this contest, and we're still in the first period of play. He'll leave it behind the net. And here's Shane Green. Brought it up the ice, tried the self-pass. Bondarev adding the pressure. Ziss able to push a pass out to the left point. Eventually retrieved by Perdian. Perdian trying to hold on to it, loses an edge. And now a 2-on-1 developing back for the Falcons. Here's DeLuca. He shoots, saved by Stoles and no rebound. DeLuca's got goals in consecutive games, trying to make it 3 in a row. But Stoles shot the 5-hole there.
Noel, you mentioned that Fitchburg State played the first part of this game as though they had been on the power play. This just kind of feels like even strength. You know, one team gets an opportunity down the other end. Oh, here comes a run to the other way.
Absolutely. We saw that in that Framingham game. Hunter Dunn had that shorthanded goal. But one thing I want to say is I love Anthony DeLuca on the penalty kill. He is such a fast, gritty player, and that is exactly what you need on your PK unit. So great to see him getting in the mix.
He's also another player who's worked his way into becoming an everyday player for the Falcons. Gallagher moving around into the left wing corner. Falcons able to poke a 3 out of the scrum. Slam it off the boards down the ice. Spencer Craig will be first to arrive in his team slot. 12 seconds to go on the man advantage for MCLA. Got a shot at the very beginning of the power play. Haven't really had a chance to get anything more towards Soderberg. Stoll slams the stick to indicate the penalty about to expire. Shot kicked away by Soderberg, and Milhorn's out of the box. Falcons are now back to full strength. 22 seconds to go in the period. Falcons coming up ice with numbers. Pass deflected, but still finds Filimonov. Tried to get it back to Paglia. Goes off to a Trailblazer skate. Back for Filimonov behind the net. In front. Score! This one will count for Devin Niles. He nails the one-timer with 11.4 to go in the first. The Falcons lead 3-0.
The Trailblazers had an opportunity to get a goal back, to get some momentum going into the intermission. Instead, the hole just gets deeper. 3-0, the Falcons lead.
And you just can't keep Devin Niles off the scoreboard. I love the little celly he had. The goal's good. And again, the Falcons, 3-0 lead in this first period.
How sweet it must be. Had a goal ruled out earlier in this period. Was able to get one properly. They can't take that one away. One more shot for Jack Saavedra is chested down by Stoles at the buzzer. And a dominant, as close to perfection first period for the Falcons. 21 shots on target. 3 find the back of the net in a legal manner, and they lead 3-0 at the end of one period.
I think we're getting a sense as to why the Falcons have won 10 of their last 11 games. This first period, as you said, Dan, everything was perfect. The offensive attack was constant, the pressure never ending, the goaltending superb. I can't find a flaw. Nola, can you?
I mean, I can't with this first period. I mean, you know, one penalty, the power kill unit, penalty kill unit, there we go. Penalty kill unit looked great. They had an opportunity on net shorthanded, and I mean, the first period is always great. It's just a matter of playing the full 20 minutes of hockey. They have had a tendency to kind of have a little slump in that second period, and they come back up the third period. It's just a matter of keeping consistency across the board for the entirety of the game.
We've talked a lot about from the Falcon perspective. Obviously, this is Fitchburg Access Television. We're all Fitchburg State students or alums, what have you. Let's look at it from the other side, MCLA's perspective. That first period, you couldn't get anything going. You couldn't get the puck out of your zone. When you got it out of your zone, it came right back the other way. You're down 3-0 going into the intermission. What do you do in these 15 minutes? How can you, from the Trailblazers' perspective, turn it around and get back out there and try to get back into this game in period number 2?
I think it's doing the little things. It's winning those puck battles along the boards. It's minimizing turnovers. It's going hard in the forecheck, going hard in the back check, playing smart defensively, trying to get rushes going up ice. It's the little things that they need to just start doing a little more of to get that momentum going, and once one goes in, they can start to build off of that. So I think, you know, in the MCLA locker room, if I'm in there right now, I'm just saying, let's get one. Let's get one and start from there.
Dan, we've been calling Falcon hockey for a long time. You've been calling the Falcons many games this season, many games in the past. I'm struggling to come up with a more dominating period of hockey than we just saw from Fitchburg State.
It's been a little while, and you've seen, you know, in that first period, we saw that top line get 2 of the goals and then another line get a 3rd goal. And we just saw a very strongly played first 20 minutes. Yeah, a couple of defensive breakdowns here and there, a couple of times in which Freddie Soderberg was exposed, but He was there to make the saves. They did enough to put him in those positions.
You can't ask more for your team than 5 shots, right?
Yep.
You're not going to hold a team shotless. A team as good as MCLA, at least.
Yeah, absolutely. After the first period audit, 19-5 were the official shots through 1 period of play. Falcons just played the period they needed to play, and they're doing well. Now, the second period historically has been one of their weaker periods this season, and you talk about what does Marcus Gloss tell his team, opposition coaches have done pretty well in figuring out how to maneuver after the first intermission. I'm not going to say the second period is going to be quite the same, but it'll be interesting to see if the Falcons can keep the tempo going or if MCLA will be able to throw a punch back.
We will take the remainder of the intermission break with the players, but don't go anywhere. We still have 2 great periods of hockey yet to come. It is Hockey Night in Fitchburg here on FATV. Back here at the Wallace Civic Center on the campus of Fitchburg State University. Fitchburg State leads MCLA 3-0 as we get ready for the second period of action here on Hockey Night in Fitchburg on FATV. I'm John Gugerty, joined by Dan Bolak and Nola Patty. And Nola, as we take a look at some of the highlights from the first period, it was one of the most complete periods of hockey that you're ever going to see from Fitchburg State.
Absolutely. They were just doing the little things right. Forecheck, back check, rebounds, battles along the board. I mean, you name it, they were doing it. 3 freshmen getting on the board for the Falcons. As you can see, that was Mantone right there. Filimonov just a little later got on the board. Niles got on the board. Great shot opportunities for MCLA, but the Falcons able to shut them down for the most part. Only 5 shots for the Trailblazers in that first period. Falcons finishing on hits, finishing on shots. I mean, it was a complete period for the Falcons. And pretty model hockey. If you're looking to up your game, follow along with some of these Falcons, especially Filimonov, if you want to see what your game should look like as a college hockey player. Great effort for the Falcons. Even better saves by the goalkeeper in net for the Trailblazers. And 19 shots from the Falcons. Hard to keep all of those out.
Dan Rocco Stoles has done as much as he can for MCLA, making 16 saves in that first period. But as you can see here, he was under constant pressure.
Yep, you can see a number of chances, a number of opportunities for the Falcons. One of the goals for Devin Niles you saw there actually did not count because Niles had established himself in the blue paint. And so they waved it off on goalie interference. But you can see opportunity after opportunity by the Falcons. An occasional opportunity here and there on Freddie Soderberg. But so many good opportunities for the Falcons in the period. Just shot after shot after shot. For Rocco Stoles, making 16 saves was impressive in of itself compared to the quality of shots the Falcons got away in the first 20 minutes. There's a reason he has a .944 save percentage coming into today.
And Nola, it's been almost entirely Falcons on the offensive end, but we did see a number of chances for MCLA going down the other way, and they ran into a brick wall in Freddie Soderberg. It's just so tough for the Trailblazers to get anything going, knowing not only are you under pressure on your defensive end, but if you get a chance the other way, you've got one of, if not the best goaltender in the MASCAC to get by.
Absolutely. He plays such a robotic, technical style of goaltending. He calls it boring. I think the rest of us can say it's amazing what he can do in net, and it's just so cool to see how focused in he is. He tracks the puck so well. He just knows where to be in his crease. It's like his second home.
You spoke at length at the end of the first period about how the second period has been a bit of a problem for Fitchburg State. Expand on that a little bit.
I just think it's penalty box trouble. You got to stay out of the box. You got to keep it 5-on-5 hockey. And you can't get on your heels. You got to keep on that gas, keep applying the pressure, keep going, play a full 20 minutes of hockey in this second period, and keep that consistency throughout.
It can be pretty easy when you have a 3-goal first period to say, this one's in the bag, we just kind of need to coast for the next 40. More often than not, Fitchburg State's been kind of getting punched in the mouth a little bit in that second period.
Absolutely, and especially against a MASCAC opponent. We know how quickly things can change in these conference games. Now the Falcons, we're in the back half of the season. You can't let up on anything. You can't just take anything for granted. You got to keep going, appreciate every moment that you're able to play, especially in your home rink with this January homestand.
Now the Falcons in the second period of games this season, they are outscoring their opposition 21-12, but it's the only period where they're being outshot by a margin of 200 to 168. In the other two periods, they outshoot their opponents on average. Second period of action is underway. John Krugerty's got the call.
Thank you, Dan. Teams have changed ends. Fitchburg State going right to left now. Filimonov gains the zone, skates past the defender, backhand shot, save made by Stoles. We, for the second period in a row, get a very quick whistle. This one 12 seconds in.
Coming right off the stick of Filimonov, he is so crafty with his stick work. Able to move right into the slot, get a backhand opportunity, but a great save on the other end.
Faceoff will come to his right. Won by the Trailblazers. Taken back behind the net by Fricchione. Clears the zone, but it's sent right back in. Filimonov lost the handle. Chased down by Trout. Back behind the MCLA net. Fricchione tried to get it to Shane Green. Now Frickione's able to clear. Cross-ice pass for Gallagher. Batted away by Andrew Wolozin. Sent back into the Trailblazer zone. Fricchione finds Gallagher on the second attempt. Now Gallagher off the near boards looking for Herrera. Under pressure is Fricchione. He'll send it back behind the Fitchburg net. Herrera bashed into the far boards by Wolozin. He'll send it back the other way. Only player there is Declan Bronte. Bronte gets it out of the zone. Good work there by Battipaglia. Getting past the defender, he takes the wrist shot from distance. And it's caught and held onto by Stoles.
That's one of the things the Falcons are definitely blessed with this freshman line, are all the moves that Niles and Battipaglia and Filimonov can make to extend the play, to open up shooting opportunities and shooting lanes. They can take on a couple of guys, and there's a chance that they can actually win.
Trailblazers tried to play it out of their zone, but they misaimed the pass, I guess. Tried to hit it off the far glass. They wound up sending one of the trainers ducking.
Longtime trainer Rebecca Schursnow, the head athletic trainer here at Fitchburg State. She's been with the ice hockey team for a very long time.
Now a centering pass for Fitchburg. Shot just over the skate of Stoles. Not able to find the back of the net. Kept in at the blue line by Marcus Macchione. Now at the near far line, Marcus Macchione sends it again, far side. Jackson Collins in the wing corner. Comes back to the blue line. Macchione's playing defenseman on both sides, I guess, because he keeps it in at the blue line again. Now it comes back behind the Trailblazer net. Pursued in the near corner by Hunter Dunn. Back to, wait for it, Marcus Macchione. He's all over the ice. Tries to skate it behind the Trailblazer net, lost the puck. Now regathers. Four players fighting for it. Marcus Macchione comes out with it. Tries the backhand shot, deflected up toward the boards. Might have been by Stoles, maybe by another Trailblazer. Sent all the way down the ice, and we get icing. 17:49 to go, second period.
I've talked a lot about Marcus Macchione this season and his development through his career here as a Falcon. You know, the first year he came in here, he did some great things, but this year especially, his skating abilities, his stick handling, every aspect of his game as a forward has gotten better, and he has contributed so much for this Falcons team. I just can't credit all of his hard work enough.
And again, just a sophomore. The youth movement for Fitchburg State. You don't often hear about so much youth coming into a team that's looking to defend a conference title, especially one that has performed as well as Fitchburg State has had. Flicked out of the zone for the Trailblazers. Loose puck in neutral ice, ultimately gathered by Globitz. Lost the handle momentarily. Comes back to Romanowski. His pass forward for Ziss. Now pursued by Herrera. Herrera pressured by Bondarev. He's dispossessed of the puck. It comes to John Mantone. Mantone flicks it forward for Milhorn. Couldn't gather though. Sent back out by the Trailblazers. Regathered for Fitchburg by Marcus Macchione. Sent right back in by Globitz. Macchione will try again. Cross-ice pass finds Halbig. Tried to get it out of the zone. Herrera sends it right back in. Back behind the net goes Isaiah McKinney. Tried the stretch pass, but it took a deflection off the stick of Quinn Murphy into the Falcon bench.
Split head coach Dean Fuller and associate head coach Tom Patty right there.
Your dad's got good reflexes, right?
He was a goalie back in his days, so he's quick with it.
For equal time, head coach of MCLA Marcus Gloss, former netminder at Finlandia. May that school rest in peace.
His children are not on the broadcast, though, just to be clear. Puck goes back once again behind the Trailblazer net. Fought for there by Alexander Bove. Out to the blue line, Macchione takes a shot, it's deflected, never gets in on Stoles. I believe it actually hit Jack Saavedra. Trailblazers clear it out, no icing. Soderberg comes up, pass it to a teammate, centering pass, chance for MCLA, no goal, but they get it on the second opportunity. The Trailblazers strike first in the second period, narrowing the deficit, 3-1 the score.
And that's just MCLA capitalizing on a defensive breakdown for the Falcons. You can see Bronte trying to find a Falcon stretched up the ice off the boards, but that puck cut off right in the slot, and first shot doesn't go, the follow-up shot does go, and again, this has been the story of the Falcons in the second period, just these small, tiny mistakes where other teams are able to capitalize on. So credit to MCLA for seeing that opportunity and being able to get a goal there.
Was Christopher Gallagher who had the first shot. I believe it was Quinn Murphy who followed up.
27, Quinn Murphy. Assist to number 89, Chris Gallagher.
It is indeed Murphy credited with the goal. Just his second of the season for the junior from Champaign, Illinois. Live action now. Puck goes into the left wing corner. Chased by Nolan Sargent. Filimonov comes in to assist. He gathers, brings it out to the blue line. Has it poked away from him out of the zone. Fitchburg State will need to regroup. Skaggs tried to play it in. MCLA good forechecking, sending Fitchburg back, even though they have the puck. Now the Trailblazers will change, give the Falcons a chance. Sent in just thought it might have gotten a touch from Filimonov, but we do get a whistle. Linesman in a little disagreements there. One said it was no icing, one said it was icing, so the Falcons just a little upset with that call. I felt like they could have tried to make something go there with Battaglia crashing down along the board. So unfortunate break for the Falcons. They'll find themselves to the left of Soderberg down in their own defensive zone. See the drum line here in force. They made their presence known during football season as well. Shot from the blue line, takes a deflection, goes wide of the net. Pursued back the other way by Josh Romanowski. Romanowski puts on the brakes, reverses direction, finds Murphy. Taken into the Fitchburg end. Gallagher lost the handle though. Now good forechecking by him to regather. Spinning down to the ice goes another Trailblazer. Gallagher pokes it back behind the net. Cody White now. Looks for a defenseman, doesn't like it. Drops it off for Kenny. Shot took a deflection, never got in on net. Comes back the other way. This is Hunter Dunn. Dunn gains the blue line to the faceoff circle. Thought about the shot, didn't like it. Tries the centering pass. Not enough strength, and Dunn is banged into the boards for his trouble. Gathered in the far corner by Jackson Collins. Now a good half dozen players battle for the puck. Bounces out Kate Herrera, who kicks it forward for White. Cody White dumps it in. Soderberg grabs, and he'll just hang on to it. 14-14 to go, period number 2. Shots on goal unofficially 22-7 in favor of the Falcons.
3-2 in this period in favor of the Falcons. MCLA getting their 2 shots on target in quick succession, the second one finding the back of the net.
And you gotta think something was said in that locker room to get the Trailblazers fired up, and coming out into this second period, guns a-blazing, and they're credited for a goal with their efforts. It's been a problem for Fitchburg State. We talked about it at the end of the first period, period number 2. Don't know if it's the other team getting a little bit more aggressive or Fitchburg State letting off the gas just a little bit. But MCLA definitely has a bit more momentum now than they did at the end of the first 20. And you can see MCLA laying many more hits than they were the first period. So the aggression, the tension in the game rising as we go along, and you know, they look up on the scoreboard, they remember that score 3-1 last year, and they weren't happy about it, you know, a few months ago, and they're trying to redeem themselves here.
Fricchione tried to take it behind his own net, very nearly put it in his own goal. Stoles was there to keep it out. Stretch pass just off the stick of a Falcon. Now sent behind the net. Stoles will play it along the near side boards. Looking for Easton Moore. He's dispossessed. Anthony DeLuca out to Sargent. Sargent will go back behind the net for Mantone. Now along the near side, that's Milhorn. His cross-ice pass finds Sargent. Shot goes wide. Echoes through the Civic Center as it bangs off the board. Now to the blue line for Wolozin. Kept it in momentarily. Then it's dumped out by Sean New. New will head for the bench, and a fresh set of skaters will join the ice. A lesser commentator would have said New there, but that would have been a horrible pun. I'm above that today. Cross-ice pass finds Nick Milhorn. Now he goes back for Sargent. Sargent dumps into the corner. Took a weird bounce on Stoles. He plays it to the near side. Chance for MCLA going the other way. 12:40 to play here, second period, as Moore gains the zone. His centering pass took a deflection up over the net. Now battled in the left wing corner. Flicked out of the zone by Fitchburg State. Puck is losing momentum, but has enough. It'll get down for icing. Fitchburg State is not happy with that decision, but it seemed like a decent one.
It was in the position where the Falcons felt that maybe at that point the puck was obtainable and the icing should be waived. But ultimately, the officials will give it. I mean, that call, I think, is technically correct, which, as we all know, is the best kind of correct.
The best kind of correct. Faceoff comes to the right side of Freddie Soderberg. Puck along the near side boards for Mantone. John Mantone battling with Charles Vukovic. Vukovic gets it back behind the Fitchburg net, but it's cleared out by Sargent. This one is more definitively icing. No, I think that's definitely icing.
You know what? I'd say so.
If you're gonna have icing, like as a rule, that's icing.
That would be a textbook definition of icing right there.
We're all in agreement.
12-12 to play here, second period. MCLA has got one back. They still trail 3-1 as we approach the halfway point of this game. Another face-off to the right side of Soderberg.
Some extra tired legs out there for the Falcons now.
Face-off controlled by the Trailblazers. Tried a shot right off, but it was blocked. Sent along the near side boards. No icing as this one came off the skate of a Trailblazer. Stoles out to play. Now a chance for MCLA coming the other way. Romanowski takes a shot. Might have taken a deflection. It knuckles up high over the corner of the net. It's regathered on the far side by Fitchburg State. Long stretch pass for Niles. Goes off his stick. Stoles out of net to play it. Now the teams fight for it in the far corner. Skated out of there by Romanowski. He got it forward to Murphy. Murphy for Gallagher. Gallagher couldn't handle it. Intercepted by Battipaglia. Battipaglia will backhand it for Filimonov. Filimonov just dumps it in. Sent back the other way by the Trailblazers. Chased down in the far side by Isaiah McKinney. Now Battipaglia again gets the red line. Sends it forward for Niles. Niles pokes it ahead to himself. Bad angle shot. Goes up and over the net. And we have a whistle away from the play.
The net is too far ajar to continue play.
Yeah, that's a pretty crooked angle. I don't think that's right. I think they ought to fix that. Fortunately, it's designed to do that, and replaced fairly easily. Faceoff comes at neutral ice, just outside the MCLA zone. Sent in by the Falcons, pursued by Saavedra. He sends it behind the net for Zapata. Zapata is banged into the boards. Bove comes to help, and once again we have a whistle. And I think this time we're going to get a penalty.
It's boarding.
Well, there were some guys getting banged into the boards.
So we'll see the Falcons power play unit get out there. Now this has been a unit that has done very well for them, but the first power play for the Falcons in the past few games has been a bit rocky. I feel like they were unable to set up opportunities, really unable to settle the puck down, so we'll see how they redeem themselves tonight.
We saw there on the replay Shane Green had Zapata against the boards and just kind of held him there. You can't do that. That is against the rules. Green will serve a maximum of 2 minutes to think about what he's done. Fitchburg has been a bit on the back foot thus far in this second period. Chance for them with the man advantage to maybe regain some momentum. Christian Halbig left it for Hunter Dunn. Dunn got into the zone, now leaves it for Filimonov. Filimonov tries to skate through basically every Trailblazer on the ice. Doesn't work for him, but Halbig leaps to keep it in at the blue line. Now Dunn. Good defensive work by Connor Nagy to block a shot from him. The puck goes up into the stands as a tiny child in a poofball hat goes chasing for a souvenir.
Falcons power play this season, 30.9%. That's third best in the nation. Of course, best in the MASCAC. MCLA's penalty kill, fourth in the MASCAC, 26th in Division III at 82.1%. Of note, that wasn't the first penalty that MCLA committed in this contest. However, the Falcons scored on the delayed penalty to waive the power play. So this is actually the first time we get to see the power play unit today.
Trailblazers have killed 43 seconds of the man advantage. Still a way to go for them. Faceoff comes to the left side of Stoles. Battled for and ultimately controlled by Fitchburg, but only momentarily. MCLA is able to clear. Christian Halbig now leaves it back for Filimonov. Filimonov tried to find Halbig, nearly sent it in on Soderberg. You want to go to the other end. Now a dangerous opportunity. It was a gift to the Trailblazers. Soderberg able to turn the shot away. Fitchburg's the team on the power play. I just want to remind folks of that real quick. Niles now skates in, sends it back to Halbig at the blue line. Thought about the shot, didn't like it, sends Niles a pass. Niles took a shot, it was deflected, goes up and over the net. Christian Halbig will chase it down. 28 seconds left on the man advantage for Fitchburg. Last time they were in this part of the ice, they gave it away, nearly gifted MCLA a shorthanded goal. Halbig finds Mantone. 15 seconds now. Mantone skates in, leaves it back behind him for Bondarev. Cross-ice pass for Skaggs, not able to keep it in, just barely over the line. Trenton Skaggs rather, thought he had it in the zone, but the official right there ruled otherwise. We'll get a neutral ice face-off as we take another look at this very close call.
The puck's on edge there, and I think it did just completely cross the blue line, and thus the offside is given.
Face-off comes basically right where the puck came out of the zone. Now just 5 seconds on the man advantage. MCLA's done a good job killing this penalty. And we are back to even strength. Green emerges from the penalty box, gets right back onto the ice. 5-on-5 now, 8:45 to go, second period. 3-1 Fitchburg. Mantone unable to handle along the far boards. Flicked up and out of the zone by MCLA. No icing as it's chased down by Bondarev. Kept in at the blue line momentarily by Herrera, but ultimately poked out by Fitchburg. Herrera frustratedly sends it back in the zone. Soderberg gathers for the Falcons. Now Fitchburg stayed at center ice. Nicholas Milhorn sends it for Marcus Macchione. Macchione tried the backhanded centering pass, nothing doing there. Back they come the other way, Mantone. Didn't like the pass, hangs on to it. Tried to leave it back for Milhorn. It's poked the other way by MCLA. Frickione, not able to clear the zone. Sargent does a good job keeping it in. Now gathered by Fitchburg State. Diving stop there on the shot opportunity. And another backhand is just poked away by Stoles. Macchione in the corner. He has Skaggs, finds him. Skaggs wanted the puck a good 10 seconds before he got it. Finally couldn't get a very good shot off. Aggressive checks exchanged back and forth. Both teams appealing for penalties. And we finally get a whistle away from the play. Trenton Skaggs, Nola, is hot.
Felt like he got hit right up in the head. The officials going with the retaliation penalty there. But
he is not a happy camper right now.
I mean, you can't imagine being too happy after getting hit in the head and then getting a penalty yourself, but the officials calling the retaliation penalty. So the Falcons back to the penalty kill. This second period has just looked a little rough for them.
Faceoff comes in the near corner. Sent out of the zone by Fitchburg State.
15, Trent Skaggs. 2-minute minor for roughing. Time for the penalty, 12:28, second period.
Skaggs will serve 2 for roughing. MCLA hopes to see him on the ice very soon. Moore lost an edge. Tried a centering pass, but it was picked off and flicked out of the zone by Fitchburg. Stoles out of his net to play it. Leaves it there for Cody White. White takes a moment to regather. He's got Purdy coming down with him to support the rush. And he'll take it up himself. White gains the blue, the red, the blue. He's basically out of useful lines. He'll send it all the way to the other end of the ice. Finally leave it for Gallagher. Gallagher's baned into the boards in the far corner. Dunn unable to clear the zone on the first opportunity. Second is picked off by White. You got MCLA guys checking each other right there. I don't think that's what they wanted to do. Now a centering pass, dangerous opportunity in front for Gallagher. He wasn't able to find the back of the net. Minute gone on the man advantage. As the Falcons are able to clear, 6:25 to go second period. Fitchburg State still leads 3-1. Shane Green goes to the far side for Ziss. He skates in 1-on-3, takes a shot. Would you believe it? That doesn't go well for him. Poked back the other way by Christian Halbig. Kept in at the blue line. Green couldn't get the handle. Good work by Zapata applying the defensive pressure to clear the zone. Zapata pokes it through 2 different Trailblazers. Shorthanded chance maybe for Fitchburg. They just dump it into the corner. 20 seconds left on the penalty now. Gathered there by Vukovic. He'll skate it forward. Finds Ziss. Verdian takes a big check, goes down to the ice. 5 seconds left. Penalty box door is basically right in front of the puck as it's cleared the other way just as we get back to even strength. 5-on-5 hockey, 5:25 to go here, second period. Herrera, nobody open, tries the shot, kicked away by Soderberg. Ziss is tripped up in the corner, legally so, although he doesn't think so. He's rather biased though, to be fair. Shot from the face-off circle, save made by Soderberg, kicked into the corner. Herrera got it out to Frickione, who took a shot that went wide. Filimonov gathers behind the net. 5 minutes left to play here now, second period. Ty Battipaglia dumps it in. Stoles tried to gather, went right under his stick. No harm done, Falcons were changing. Battipaglia sends it the other way for Filimonov. Filimonov sends it the other way for Niles. Niles thought about the wraparound, centering pass. Battipaglia was crashing in. Stoles is down on the ice, appeals for a whistle. Stoles is doubled over. Frickione takes a shot. We're going to get a cheap penalty. A silly penalty, I think is the better word, against MCLA.
Yeah, you can see Battipaglia crashing in right on the doorstep there. Gets his stick tied up, trying to just get up. You know, not trying to give any other pushes there on Schultz, and then looks like he's trying to go over, get his stick, and then right to the head. Definitely can't do that. And you got to think, you know, you want to defend your goalkeeper, right?
The first shot I totally understand, because you want to defend your goalkeeper.
Right, but the extra little push, you know, not needed there. And if you're the Trailblazers, you're hoping that this does not cost you another goal.
Dan, I can't believe the play was allowed to continue. Stoles was down, doubled over, in obvious pain for what felt like 15, 20 seconds.
I think they let it continue because the puck was making its way up ice. MCLA had an opportunity that was starting to develop, and then Luke Frickione hit Ty Battipaglia in the face, and that brought it into that.
Just undisciplined play that the Trailblazers want to get themselves back in the game, kind of had to keep under reins.
Second power play of this second period for Fitchburg State. MCLA was able to kill off the first one. Halbig takes a shot from the point. Quick deflection goes up and over the net. Battled for along the near boards. Centering pass, Hunter Dunn couldn't get the right deflection. Now Battipaglia skates in on goal, save made by Stoles. Battipaglia tried to go top right shoulder, couldn't get past Stoles. Niles tried a centering pass, but it was deflected. Cleared out of the zone by MCLA. 40 seconds gone on the man advantage. Fitchburg State still with plenty of time if they want to extend this 3-1 lead. Halbig leaves it back behind him for Alexei Filimonov. Filimonov gains the zone, leaves it for Niles. Niles will send it behind the MCLA net. Hunter Dunn at the blue line. Cross-ice pass finds Devin Niles. Niles back to Halbig. Halbig wanted a shot, blocked, never got in on net. Now Niles tries the centering pass for Macchione. Just offline, couldn't get past him, cleared out by the Trailblazers. 45 seconds on the power play. Fitchburg State regathers. Macchione gains the zone. Dispossesses an MCLA player of his stick. Now Mantone has it in the corner. For Milhorn. Milhorn tried to play it for Niles. Niles was going to the bench, and it's cleared out of the zone. More time off this penalty. Skating in on net is Andrei Bondarev. Freshman from Stockholm took a shot. It's deflected, goes up into the netting. Now some words exchanged on the far side. Ziss and Macchione possibly talking about dinner reservations.
Just love that take from Bondarev, the defenseman. Transferred halfway through the season in here for second semester. Not afraid to take the puck to net and attempt a shot there.
Faceoff gets tied up with the official and a couple of players. Winds up somehow behind the MCLA net with no one really possessing the puck. Finally controlled for Fitchburg State by Mantone. 10 seconds left on the power play. Macchione didn't like the centering pass, tries the shot. Save made by Stoles, he covers up. And then clutches the puck to his chest to make sure there's a whistle.
Shots in this period unofficially 7-6 in favor of Fitchburg State. And we were talking about how the Falcons tend to have a come down in the second period, not helping matters for MCLA statistically. This is their best period, in which it's the only one of the 3 periods in which they've been outscoring their opposition this season. 13-12 coming into tonight.
Just 5 seconds left on the man advantage now. Shot from the blue line takes a deflection. Save made by Stoles. Comes back into the near corner. We're back to even strength. Skaggs takes a shot, kicked away by Stoles. Taken out of the zone for MCLA. Sent forward by Frickione. Go back behind the Falcon net. Murphy got tied up with the Falcon. Possibly an argument for hooking there, but the officials let it go. Now cleared forward to him. Murphy backhands it back into the zone. Pursued by Herrera, but winning the race was Bondarev. He left it back for Skaggs. Skaggs finds Macchione, who in turn finds Bondarev. Bondarev sends it up over Macchione and out of the zone. MCLA will regather. Under 2 minutes to play here. Fitchburg State wanted the icing, and there it goes. Just a little late. That's okay. You got to dig that whistle out sometimes.
Freshman line back out here for the Falcons. And you got to think they want at least a goal to kind of spark them going into this third period, sending them back to the locker room with at least something. But again, this second period just, it looked too sharp.
Loose puck in the far right corner. 4-5 now players battling for it, ultimately controlled by MCLA. Easton Moore dumps it into the zone, up over the stick of Declan Bronte. Moore battling 1-on-2 against a couple of Falcons. Fitchburg State emerges victorious from that battle, as you'd expect they would. Sargent found Niles. Niles dispossessed. Filimonov regathers. He's skating the wrong way, but he'll correct that. Cross-ice pass. And it's sent back into the zone by Bronte. Stoles out of his net to play it. He leaves it for Spencer Craig. Craig wanted a pass, and we're going to get a penalty here. Looks like a high stick is the call.
It'll be against Fitchburg as well.
Yeah, you just see that right hand of Niles up just a little too high on that hit. And I can only imagine what Trenton Skaggs is feeling like right now as he was hit pretty similarly just in that position a few plays ago.
Officials conferring at center ice, maybe deciding just how badly they're going to punish Niles. And does he have to go home to Maris? Will he not see Daphne for a week? That sort of thing. We'll get the call here in a moment from our public address announcer, Jim LaPointe.
They were also explaining things to Marcus Gloss. Did one of the Trailblazers go off? Actually, Sam Ziss, I think, is being escorted off the ice.
Yeah, Ziss is aggressively pleading his case as he is being shepherded toward the door. He will play no further part, at least in this second period, perhaps in this game. Ziss continuing to shout even as the door closes behind him, and off he goes to the locker room.
Must have been something that was said, because I didn't see anything like too crazy that would have called for his absence of the game. So
this is a pretty disciplined player. Only 6 penalty minutes coming into tonight.
Luke Ross will be sent to his room to think about what Sam Ziss did, I guess. He'll serve a penalty.
We'll see how many minutes Niles sits for here.
Niles and Ross were jawing at one another as they sat down in the penalty box. Nothing's gone up on the board yet. Jim LaPointe still getting the word from our referees.
Looks like Ziss might be coming back out onto the ice.
Take a look at this here. You see the referee, one of the referees there, Mr. Saka, made the motion with his thumb, given the old, heave ho, you're out of here type of motion. Ziss was immediately, he's not happy. Although he is now back at the door.
Looks like he's chatting with some local hockey players getting ready for their game after this one.
Yep. St. Bernard's and Groton Dunstable have the game after this. They put 5 on the board against Ziss and 2 on the board against Niles.
So it must have been something that was said beyond the play, as the whistle blew pretty quickly after Niles had committed his penalty.
Yep. I'm very surprised that they would give a 5 for what would be verbals, in which case, unless he said the type of thing that is deeply unpolite in formal company.
I can't think of a thing he could have said that would get a 5-minute penalty and not have him escorted from the premises. And Mr. Ziss has just retaken the ice.
I wonder if there may have been mistaken identity. They put number 3 on the board. I wonder if the penalty was supposed to be against Spencer Craig.
It's possible.
Put it this way, if he's not being ejected, he should be in Luke Ross's spot right now. So it's kind of confusing. But both penalties go on the board, they don't cancel out.
Quinn Murphy gets an explanation.
So we'll wait to hear what the official calls are. I'm confused.
I'm also confused.
I'm just putting it out there, I'm confused.
1 minute.
We are
Last minute
4 on
play,
4
second period.
for the moment.
Falcon penalty was on number 10, Devin Niles. 2-minute minor for high sticking. Trailblazer penalty was on number 3, Spencer Craig. 5-minute major for head contact and a game misconduct. Time of the penalties were at 18:59, second period.
So head contact and a game misconduct. Now we've got another penalty coming against the Falcons. This one, I believe, will be for slashing.
Saw a trip against Dunn, so.
You got to think the Falcons, see the penalty going on Niles, then Trailblazers get a guy in the box, and now you got another player in the box. So it's just unfortunate break. Didn't look like it was too incidental, but.
Saw the replay of the tripping call, or the tripping infraction rather, committed by Dunn. Backhand shot in front, turned away by Soderberg. So now it is 4 on 3 for the final 20 seconds of this second period. Herrera at the goal line, sends it out to the blue line for Green. Green back to Herrera, Herrera back to Green. There are 4 Trailblazers on the ice. A third now gets involved. Green takes a shot. Save made by Soderberg. Just 5 seconds left in the period, and this puck is cleared out down the other way.
16, Hunter Dunn, 2-minute minor for tripping. Time of that penalty was 19:28, third period.
So one of the other confusing things about all that is Spencer Craig is actually still on the bench and now leaving the ice in the normal manner. So I think they tried to throw Ziss out because mistaken identity. We talked about this a little bit last year in the meeting between these two sides. This number font is not a very good font functionally for broadcasting sport. And I wanted to joke Kate Herrera maybe changed his number from 93 to 17 because he got that goal last year and they gave it to Spencer Gallagher. They gave it to Christopher Gallagher because he wears 89, which kind of looks like 93 from certain angles. They tried to throw Sam Ziss out of the game wearing number 8 with that rounded font, but they actually threw Spencer Craig out of the game who wears number 3 that looks like an 8 from many angles. And then they didn't actually throw Craig out of the game at the very end of this.
No, he just spent the rest of the period on the bench wondering, like, what did I do wrong? Perhaps he knew what he did wrong, but he was looking like he was wondering.
Things are very weird, but nevertheless, there will be a lot of things to untie in due time.
There will indeed, one of which is, Nola, we talked about it at the end of the first period, at the beginning of the second period. The second period has been a bit of a letdown for Fitchburg State, and that proved to be the case. I won't go so far as to say that MCLA dominated this middle 20 minutes of action, but they certainly did look like the better side.
They definitely started to pick up momentum. Getting that goal up on the board, we talked about it earlier, just getting one and then seeing where the gameplay can go, and they've had plenty more opportunities than they had in that first period. So yeah, the Falcons just looked like they took a little bit of a back foot there and not quite on the marker like they were in that first period. It'll be very interesting to see how they handle this third period. They'll have some power play opportunity. Those first power plays just didn't look too sharp. A couple good opportunities there, but just not looking like it normally does. So second period, not too sharp for the Falcons. MCLA starting to gain momentum. We'll see how the third period goes and where this game ends up.
One of the challenges for the Falcons this year is really trying to play a complete 60-minute hockey game, and that second period has just been a bit of a bugaboo for them. And it happens again today that they don't play the period they want. Shots in that second period were 9 apiece, and a couple errors by the Falcons in discipline. We saw it 2 nights ago. The Falcons were clean in the first period, committed multiple penalties in the second period, gave up a goal. It didn't really play a particularly good second period against Framingham State, but they turned it around, dominated in the third period. Looking ahead on the numbers, the Falcons outscored their opposition 22-11 in the third period this year. MCLA, that's their worst period, where they're outscored 20-14 and outshot to the margin of 206-151, minus 55.
Third period of action will prove to be interesting. Fitchburg State will start shorthanded. MCLA on the power play, down by 2 goals. This game very much not over. Dan and Nola and myself, we will take the remainder of the intermission break with the players, but folks, do not go anywhere. Hockey Night in Fitchburg continues here on FATV. Back here at the Wallace Civic Center on the campus of Fitchburg State University. Fitchburg State leads MCLA 3-1 as we are ready for the final period of regulation. Fitchburg State hopes it will be the final period of this game. I'm John Gugerty, joined by Dan Bullock and Nola Patty. Nola, MCLA got one. They got the one they needed. They're back in this game, and they'll begin the third period on the power play.
Yeah, absolutely. Able to capitalize off a Falcon turnover just right in front of the slot. A great shot on net. And, if you're the Falcons, you want that one back for sure. If you're Soderberg, you want that one back for sure. But for MCLA, like you said, they got the one that they needed. It's all about building momentum on top of that now. Winning the puck battles along the boards, back check, forecheck. Again, like you said, it's the little things that matter most. So it's just about honing in on those and keeping the momentum you built in that second period.
We'll take a look at some of the highlights of the second period. It was much more of a back and forth, even-handed period than the first. The first period pretty much dominated exclusively by Fitchburg State. You see the Falcons with a couple of chances early on in that second period. But Dan, right there, that was the MCLA goal, and from there, they really had the momentum.
That was just, A sloppy pass turned into a turnover, an extremely dangerous opportunity.
There's another sloppy pass turning into a turnover right there.
And that's the thing too, it's like when the Falcons make a mistake, it's something that comes suddenly and painfully.
This exchange right here at the end of the period, that shot by Frickione gave Fitchburg the power play.
You know, the last few minutes of the period got extremely chippy. There were 3 penalties in the last 61 seconds, and somewhere there was a contact to the head that led to Spencer Craig getting thrown out of the game, except they threw Sam Ziss out of the game because these numbers are not great on the MCLA jerseys.
And we didn't see anything live as to what Craig did. Looking back at the replay package just there, I saw a high hit by Connor Nagy, but he's not Spencer Craig, so...
I think I saw maybe on the high stick by Niles that started everything. I think it was a retaliation that happened probably almost immediately after that. We were all just looking away. Maybe we were seeing the arm go up for the penalty. I think there was a point where it was mentioned both teams were appealing for penalties here or something to that effect. But it was one of those very strange endings to a period. And we're going to start this third period with a 4-on-3 power play for MCLA, which will turn into a 4-on-4, which will turn into a Falcon power play unless we get further shenanigans and tomfoolery.
So Nola, I imagine you might have a little bit of insight into what the Falcon coaches told their players in the locker room. How are they going to rally the troops? They had a dominating first period, got knocked back a little bit in the second. What do they say to refocus the Falcon energies here for the final 20 minutes?
I think just getting back to your brand of hockey. If you play your style of hockey, the consistency that you had in that first period, it felt like it was free-flowing for the Falcons. They were getting shots off, they were laying hits, they were making great defensive plays, great saves. Get back to your brand of hockey and just start to play your game. It felt like they were kind of on the back foot playing MCLA's game in that second period. So get back to Falcon hockey, get your head back in this game. You got 20 more minutes left to play.
As we get ready for the third period, I can tell you that the officials have straightened things out. Sam Ziss is on the bench where he should be. Spencer Craig is not on the bench where he is forbidden from being. So Mr. Craig will take no further part in this contest. Third period is just about to get underway. Dan Bolak, take us home.
MCLA going from right to left here in this third period. Fitchburg State going from left to right in this very gold, colorful matchup. On the far side, trying to settle that down is Quinn Murphy. Gets it across the near side. Herrera holding in the left circle. Try to get it back for Green. Probably wasn't sure if he was looking for Murphy or looking for Green. Doesn't really find either of them, at least not Green until it comes out of the zone. It's now back in. Green settles it down. 25 to go on the man advantage for MCLA. Held at the top of the right circle. Back for Green. To the left side. One-timer. Save by Soderberg. Rebound popped out. Everything sort of went in slow motion on all of that. And MCLA didn't get the execution they wanted.
Yeah, Easton Moore got nowhere near the velocity he wanted on that one-timer.
5 seconds left on the penalty to Devin Niles. Stick slamming from Stoltz to indicate Niles is out of the box. We'll play 4-on-4 for the next 25 seconds. Goes through everyone out in front, redirected on goal, save, and the puck was always available, but the official lost sight of it.
MCLA's bench not happy about that one, as they're just trying to get anything they can go here.
And the Trailblazer bench had a perfect view of the puck as it trickled in front of Soderberg, but the official station behind him couldn't see it. If you can't see the puck, you gotta blow the whistle.
We thought it may have been closer to Soderberg's torso, but it was actually on his left toe. We could see it clearly from here. The MCLA bench could see it from here, but the official was in the opposite corner from where he's standing now, kind of just screened out and didn't get the view that he needed to keep sight of the puck. And so he blows the play dead. It's player safety. Icing called against the Falcons, as it is still 4-on-4 hockey. 10 seconds remain on the penalty to Hunter Dunn, and the Falcons have a power play scheduled for 2 minutes and 32 seconds.
Bondarev heading over the Falcon bench just to get some communication in from his coaches. Born for hockey, a little bit more room for each team to possess the puck in the offensive zone.
Falcons willing to draw. Christian Hallbig, Andrei Bondarev has his pocket picked. Murphy taking it away. Now Green on the left side shoots. Went for the far post, missed it. And now it comes right to Hunter Dunn, who can enter the zone. Drops it off. Badapaglia shot saved by Stoles. Plays it off his chest and into his glove. Let's thank our FATV underwriters.
Fitchburg Access Television's remote productions are brought to you in part by Rollstone Bank and Trust, Acme Carpet One, All One Credit Union, The Sentinel and Enterprise, Minuteman Press, and Unitil.
Badapaglia had a great shot in front that Stoles was able to stop after the pass from Filimonov broke the Russian stick. Devin Niles out to the left side boards. Filimonov's got a new piece of lumber. Tests it out with a shot there that whistles high off the glass. Strange bounce off the dashers, goes to the right side corner. Filimonov gets it back, tries to put it across, but knocked down by Easton Moore. Gets its recipient anyway. Now back for Filimonov, right circle. Filimonov threw everybody off a kitty. Backhand shot punched over the net by Stoles. Hunter Dunn behind the frame. 1:40 to go on this major power play for the Falcons. Falcons get a goal on this power play. The penalty will stay on the board. Through traffic, Stoles makes the save. MCLA able to get a stick on it and get it out of the zone. 1:25 to go, man advantage. Falcons change up some numbers. Niles, left side Filimonov, tried to get to Mantone. That's up in the air, and that will go into the third row.
It never comes here, but whenever it has the trajectory, your eyes go wide, you lean back. I'm glad to see it's not just me.
I leaned more. Hey, if it was coming to me, I was going to catch it. That was my souvenir for the game.
I was tracking that one. I was ready to pull it out if it came up a little higher.
Maybe get it signed by Niles.
MCLA wins the draw. Links it around to the far side. Mantone keeps a hold of it. Marcus Macchioni behind the net for Bondarev. Gives it back to Macchioni, back to Bondarev, now to Skaggs. Shot save, rebound, still loose, and ultimately it ends up in the control of Rocco Stoles.
I love when all the players know that the puck is covered, they all freeze. Everyone freezes, waits for the whistle. Falcons not trying to test MCLA defense too much as they've seen what happened to Badapaglia on the other end of the net just a period ago.
For a Falcon fan, you gotta love Milhorn and Mantone crashing in as soon as Stoles went splayed out on the ice. They were looking for that rebound.
All of these goals for the Falcons coming at very short range. MCLA will win the puck here on the near side, and Easton Moore skates it up across the lines on the kill. Skaggs trying to move it along near side. Gallagher loses his skates as he's able to push that puck away towards the right side. Falcons will take it up the near. Here's Milhorn. Into the zone, into the corner. Now to Niles on the left side boards. Niles keeping control of it into the corner. Center back around Mantone. Shot ricochets off the leg of Quinn Murphy. Skaggs keeps control of it. He'll be pinned in the boards by Gallagher. The puck now poked free for Devin Niles. To the left side, Skaggs. In the corner for Macchioni. Penalty about to expire as that shot redirects behind the net. Luke Ross comes out of the box. And MCLA is back to full strength with 15:55 to go in regulation time. In front, shot through traffic. Hits a body in front. It goes to the right side boards. Filimonov to Declan Bronte. Now Hunter Dunn's shot. Strikes the Trailblazer, strikes the ceiling, and out of play.
Nola, it has to be a surge of adrenaline, a bit of positive thinking now for MCLA. They spent the first 4 minutes of this third period with 4 skaters on the ice. They're finally back to full strength. Now they can really look to push the advantage and get back, try to erase this 2-goal deficit.
Absolutely, and you got to think, like, they could have given up a while ago. They could have been like, you know what, we're down 3-0, like, let's just try to survive this game. But they're chipping away. They're making the right plays. They're doing the little things like we said earlier, and blocking shots left and right. We're able to kill off a 5-minute penalty, and they're back in this game.
MCLA is a very defensively sound side. Jack Saavedra gets the shot. That's going to be turned aside by Stoles. His 30th save of the contest. Bronte with a shot. Stoles makes the stop there as well. Zapata gets it around for Nolan Sargent. Now for Collins in the left wing corner. Running out of space there. Joshua Romanowski there, so was one of the referees. Everyone battling for the puck that's 10 feet away from the whole scrum. Now comes to Declan Bronte. Tight angle shot saved by Stoles and uses his stick to whack the puck into the right wing corner. Down the ice, that will actually exit the ice rink. And a draw comes to the left of Stoles. 14:43 to go in the third, 3-1 Falcons.
Momentum starting to build for the Falcons. You can see they're starting to maintain a lot more offensive zone time than they did in that second period. Going back to their roots in that first. Getting the shots that they want. It's just a matter of finishing on them.
Falcons are 9-0 this season when they lead after 40. MCLA is 0-8 when they trail after 40. Falcons hoping both of those remain true. Stoles behind the net for Kieran Kenny. Now behind the net for Connor Nagy. One of the 3 captains on this Trailblazer side. He's been a captain all 3 years he's been at MCLA. He was a transfer from Finlandia. Was part of that Lions team during their last ever season, in which current head coach Marcus Gloss was an assistant on that team. 2-on-2 up ice, Cody White wearing number 2, so often a defenseman's number, but a forward's number here. A shot turned aside by Freddie Soderberg. Shane Green sends it back around the boards. 15 saves for Soderberg tonight. That hops off a stick in the neutral zone, out of the reach of Mantone. Green trying to knock it along, having trouble there. Easton Moore digging at that one. Moore Jr., a second-year co-captain. Shane Green has been a captain all 3 years with MCLA, and as a junior, could be the very rare 4-year captain. But when the team starts out as almost all freshmen, well, players have to be captains somewhere. Luke Friccione, the junior from West Springfield. Long for Green. Tries to go captain to captain, couldn't find more. Nolan Sargent feeds Ty Battipaglia off his skates. Now Filimonov settles, can't get the shot away. Off his skate, but couldn't get it onto his stick. Filimonov pitchforks that puck in front, stick aside by Stoles. Niles across, wanted Sargent, who was coming up in the play. Filimonov back for Sargent now for Battipaglia. Battipaglia turns, that one goes high, rides the dashers and out of the zone. Skaggs back at the red line, will dump back in. Stoles will settle. Move it along to his left, falls down. A little bit worse for wear as he slowly makes his way back up onto his skates. MCLA in the offensive zone, having it there for a moment with Sam Perdian.
You heard a groan from the MCLA fans who made the trip from North Adams for this one. They wanted a penalty.
There's a steal by Herrera, second opportunity, just couldn't turn one towards goal. Trailblazers trying to settle and get a shot opportunity. Walter Brown scored 2 nights ago. Tried to get a shot, nothing going there. Right side, Romanowski into the corner. Declan Bronte digging away. The Falcons win that fight. Battipaglia gets to the red line, some tired legs out there for the Falcons. He'll just dump in and they'll change. Jackson Collins slows it down on the left side boards. Hunter Dunn. Dunn will be sent into the boards by Quinn Murphy. Now Bronte in the neutral zone for Dunn. The Falcons pushing it back in. MCLA with 2 shots in this period, the Falcons with 6. Many of them coming in the first few minutes when the Trailblazers were killing off a major power play. A shot from Isaiah McKinney will be stopped by Stoles from the right point. No further play. 11:17 to go in the third. Fitchburg State leads 3-1.
Noel, I wonder if maybe there might just be a little bit of fatigue settling in for MCLA. They don't seem to have the same zip that they had in that second period, and they need to really start playing with some urgency.
Absolutely. You think it's a long bus ride from North Adams, and now you're on a Saturday. Classes are back in session. You're playing lots of hockey in this stretch. You know, third period starts settling in. It's really who has it in them.
Coming from the northwest corner of the state of Massachusetts, this is actually one of the shorter trips that MCLA makes on the road in conference play. As Connor Nagy on the right side throws it in the direction of goal, but goes through the top of the paint and no closer than that. Delayed call coming here. It's against Fitchburg. Stoles is going to come off for the extra attacker. Ziss behind the net, thrown in front. Falcons got a touch. The officials say that's not good enough. Play on. Throw through the paint again, and this is going to come down the ice. It'll miss the empty net. I imagine Trailblazers fans were sweating for just a brief moment. Goal would have counted had it gone in. Kieran Kenny whiffs on that one. Falcons now with a proper touch to the official's satisfaction. Then MCLA will get their 5th power play of the night with 10-12 to go in the 3rd.
Again, the Falcons in penalty trouble. We'll wait for the official call on who it's on.
That run of play went on for so long, whoever the penalty was on had already switched off onto the bench. Now the officials have to find the player who was guilty, tell him to come off this bench and go to the new bench.
Nolan Sargent is particularly demonstrative, but they're not going to send him. It'll be Isaiah McKinney.
McKinney goes to the box for the 7th time this season.
Tough break if you're a Falcons fan. Penalty kill unit is good, but you don't want to test them all too often.
Herrera with the shot. Soderberg gets a piece. Round to the right side, Murphy settles in the right boards. Around for Easton Moore on the left side. Protects it, moves along. Gallagher thrown in front. Nobody can stick it towards goal. Shot attempt by Cody White. Misses the mark. Deflected on the way into the right wing corner. Murphy on the right side, Herrera. Protecting, keeping hold of the puck. Sharp cross-ice passing, but now a misplay and a chance. Punched away by Soderberg. Off the blocker it goes, but stays in the zone. Here's White with a shot. Knocked down by a Falcon stick, never makes its way to the junior keeper.
25, Isaiah McKinney. 2-minute minor for interference. Time of the penalty, 9:48, 3rd period.
Sam Perdian rushing into the zone. Can't find a lane to shoot. Trent Skaggs takes it away, sends it down the lane. 55 to go in the man advantage for MCLA. 9:05 to go in the 3rd. Sam Ziss trying to send it around to the right side. Will eventually get it back to the right wing corner. Nolan Sargent battling with Charles Vukovic. Sargent wins the puck, and Shane Green tries to knock it down, but ultimately can't keep it in the zone. Luke Friccione, the junior first-year Trailblazer. Up for this. Sticked along, Skaggs gets it, just simply sends it right back down from which it came. Stoles behind his own net, has an assist this season. We'll get it to Green. Falcons change off again. That goes off a Trailblazer skate, and now Soderberg is going to just launch it down the ice himself. Why not? Ends up going goalkeeper to goalkeeper, although not on target, and Stoles ends up playing it as McKinney is out of the box, and the Falcons are back to full strength.
Great penalty kill from the Falcons.
I imagine Soderberg just wanted to test out the, well, if the net's empty in a few minutes and I've got an opportunity, let's see how far I can get it down.
He's got the length. Accuracy needs work, but you know.
That's turned on towards Soderberg. He makes the save, trying to go from post to post, protect against the wraparound that never comes. Falcons get it out of the zone. You can see MCLA really harassing Alexei Filimonov there. Devin Niles able to follow on, get a hold of the puck. To the near side, Battapaglia into the zone. He'll be dispossessed. Romanowski. Try to send it forward. Luke Ross Not able to do a whole lot with that there. Filimonov trying to protect the puck, keep control of it. Around to the right side, Bronte. Batapaglia had to pick up his glove that he lost. That one off a Trailblazer skate, gets to Bronte. Bondarev with a shot. Ends up deflecting up into the netting and out of play.
I am looking forward to when he gets his first goal with the Falcons, because his shot, it zooms by. It is so fast. He is such a snipe. I am so excited for when he scores his first goal with the Falcons.
Dan, I don't know if I've ever seen this before. The deflection off the save by Stoles actually knocked one of the things that hold the panels of glass in place. I don't even know what you call those, but it knocked one of those up flying to the air. It was retrieved by one of the maintenance folks here at the Civic Center.
I've seen it happen once or twice before. Kieran Kenny has a shot deflected into the right wing corner. Collins from Accioni, out of his reach, but down the ice it'll go. Sean New for Luke Ross. Ross, the extra skater for the Trailblazers. Didn't really get any shifts in the first two periods, but now getting used with Spencer Craig's ejection. Down the ice, Kenny. Up to the blue line, we'll have a whistle and offside. 6:24 to go in the third. Falcons out shooting the Trailblazers 36-18 and outscoring them 3-1.
This line right here has a goal to their name tonight. Falcons don't need another goal, but they absolutely want it. Still a lot of hockey left to be played in this third period, and MCLA, they put up a fight.
Some intentionality to that offside. Falcons led 3-0 through one period of play and outshot the Trailblazers 19-5. Looked like we were in for a rout considering how the first period had gone. I joked goals are at a premium when these two teams play. The last two periods have been a return to form as Gavin Globitz gains the zone, gets a shot through a lot of traffic. Soderberg able to make the stop. Just barely kept in there by Green. His shot goes off a skate and flies to the left side where Fricchione tries to move it along. Puck pinballs around on the left side and eventually poked free by the Falcons. Mantone pushing it forward. Stoles pressured by Mantone. Is able to get the pass around to Fricchione. 5:30 to go in regulation time. 3-1 Falcons in front. Fitchburg State trying to sweep MCLA today. Women's basketball beating the Trailblazers 50-47. Men's basketball winning 97-96. This has been another close game as well. Off the boards and out of the zone, down the ice. Green will get to that for the Trailblazers. And has it poked away for Zapata there with some strong pressure. Listed as the right winger on the first line. This line tends to be one of the most aggressive when it comes to checking. On the near side, settled by Green. Off the boards, tried to find Easton Moore. But too much pressure from the Falcons to take that away. Bronte stretching it up on the far side. Rush off the benches, Filimonov kept control of it, lost it. In MCLA, will bring it up, and here's Kate Herrera, the other number 17, with a bit of speed. Gets into the right wing corner of the Falcon end and doesn't go any farther than that. Filimonov gets a stick on it, knocks it down the ice, and it will go with just enough momentum for it to be icing. .4:11 to go in the third period. 36-19 the shots in favor of the Falcons. Their next game in 5 days at Westfield State. The last team that they'll play for the first time this season. And Westfield tied with the Falcons coming to today for second in the MASCAC. That's going to be quite the contest. It will truly be a measuring stick to see who may be the favorite to when we get into the second cycle of MASCAC play. Nagy shot with good pace, turned aside by Soderberg. Falcons will be able to get on the rebound and get it to the blue line. Kieran Kenny keeps it in. Murphy's shot goes just wide. Maybe Soderberg got a piece. Off the boards for Filimonov. Drops it off. Dump in was whiffed on. Charlie Odessa with a bit of open space. He gets the shot off, fought off by Soderberg. And a whistle. Wonder if the official knew that Soderberg's mask was in a position where it was close to coming ajar. And one headbang from Soderberg, and it goes straight to the ice.
I thought the whistle was on for Trenton Skaggs, the way he just plowed into Odessa, and they are going to send Skaggs to the bench, to the penalty box rather. After Odessa took that shot, Skaggs went down to the ice to block it. We'll see here on the replay, he just allows his momentum, let's say, to carry him into Odessa, sent Odessa tumbling to the ice. And he'll serve 2 minutes in the detention dungeon.
Just lost a little bit of control of his body, trying to come across and make that play. Timeout going to be called. So senior captain Trenton Skaggs going to sit for 2 minutes here.
I think this is, I'm sorry, Nola, go ahead. I do think this is a good timeout by Marcus Gloss. You know, MCLA really has not, they're certainly trying. They just haven't had the extra step. They've lost a little bit of speed, and the Falcons have been able to contain them. So just to give these players a chance to catch their breath, to get refocused, to get as much adrenaline as they can for this final push. 2 goals in 3.5 minutes against a very strong defense is a tall task, but not an impossible one.
Absolutely, and I was just going to say, they're in crunch time right now. They know there's 3:31 left on the clock. You're down by 2. If you get one, you got momentum moving your way. So they have a great opportunity to capitalize here and try and make this a 1-goal game.
It'll be 5-on-4 when we resume play as Rocco Stoles returns sort of to the net. He's at the hash marks. And he'll be awaiting for Marcus Gloss to call him to the bench, and he's now going to come to the bench. Extra attackers now on. 6 skaters for the Trailblazers. Falcons get a hold of the puck, try to get it out of the zone, but kept it at the right point. 6-on-4. Now taken away. Hunter Dunn gets tripped up. Did he have a clear path to the goal? He didn't, but it'll wipe out the power play.
Had the shorthanded goal against Framingham. Almost had a shorthanded goal right here. Didn't look like he was quite on a breakaway for that to justify the penalty shot. Officials talking it over now.
If he had a clear path to goal and was tripped up with the empty net, it would have been an automatic goal. But he didn't quite have the space on Luke Ross. But Ross commits the trip, and I think Dean Fuller's asking, why is it not an auto? Why is it not an auto goal?
Didn't look like he had enough separation there.
No, it was a very close race to the puck. Ross got the puck first, but the problem is in order to do that, he had to go full extension and wound up tripping Dunn. I think it's a good no call on the auto goal, but definitely a trip and definitely a huge blow to MCLA's chances as we go back to 4-on-4.
Absolutely.
We'll take a look at it one more time. They're basically level. Like, Dunn's a little bit ahead, but they're basically level. Ross goes out for the puck, deflects it away, commits the trip.
It was a good penalty to take because the alternative is that Dunn earns the goal the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, if Dunn gets a good stick on that puck, it's 4-1. So I think Ross did everything correct. It resulted in a penalty, but it should not have been a penalty shot and therefore a goal.
MCLA with a 3-on-2 here. Easton Moore on the left side, put it across, patted away by Soderberg. Soderberg having trouble getting back up to the ice after he got crashed into. And a shove to the back there. The Quinn Murphy tell him, get out of my crease. Extra attackers back on for MCLA, now 5-on-4. Falcons take it away. Dunn is gonna go for the empty net, he'll miss, and it will go for icing. Clock will stop with 2:12 to go in the third, 42 on the 4-on-4.
It's been an intense game, and I mean, this is what we expected from MASCAC hockey. Every single game, it's a nail-biter. Whether it's a 7-2 win, whether it's, a 3-1 game, I mean, it's exciting hockey to watch. So great to see all these fans out here, all these high school kids watching this next level of play.
Love seeing both teams there on the left side, getting ready for the next game, taking in the show.
It's inspiration. It's inspiration for the next generation of hockey players.
5 skaters on the ice for MCLA, 4 skaters on the ice for the Falcons. 20 seconds to go on the 4-on-4. MCLA just not in a shooting position. Now they finally got a shot off. Bondarev is able to block it. Vukovic is sent to the boards by Bondarev. Trailblazers bench appealed for a call that was not given, and the puck goes out of play. There's 7 seconds to go on the 4-on-4, 1:37 to go in the game.
Seemed like a good hit. We'll take another look. Bondarev's just, it's hockey. You hit people.
Gets his hands on Vukovic in the back, but Vukovic is not turned towards the boards. He sort of falls sideways to it and incidentally grazes the boards. It looked worse live than it actually was. Draw comes to Soderberg's right. Controlled by the Trailblazers across right side. Wicked blast goes wide. Falcons knock it off the boards. Now the Falcons have a power play for 17 seconds. Battipaglia not able to win that foot race for the puck. So 5 skaters for each briefly. Gallagher thrown in front, goes all the way to Soderberg, makes the save. Filimonov tried to dump it down, but it was blocked by a Trailblazer. Penalty about to expire to Ross. It'll be 6 skaters on for MCLA in the final 65 seconds of regulation time. Frickione on the left side. Gallagher thrown in front, save. Rebound still jamming away at it. Nobody gets a clean shot away, and that's backhanded into the stands. .5 seconds remain in regulation time.
A little scramble out in front of the net. Many Trailblazers just jabbing away at it. Falcons able to come up with the puck there.
Six skaters for MCLA, 5 skaters for the Falcons. They wanted to de-pair Skaggs and Wallison. That last late change was rejected. Sargent and Bronte are ordered back on the ice. And knowing the legs are potentially tired there, the Falcons will call their timeout.
It's a good timeout, I think. You wanted to get, like you said, Dan, those fresh legs, new skaters out on the ice. Officials say no, you guys threw it out of the zone right into the stands. We're not going to let you get a line change out of that. Dean Fuller's like, okay, timeout.
Look ahead to the next games here for these two teams. MCLA is back in action on Thursday the 29th. They will be hosting Salem State for an 8 o'clock puck drop in North Adams. Fitchburg State will be back on the road on the 29th, taking on Westfield State, 7:35 puck drop from Amelia Park. Next Falcon home game is Saturday, Hockey Day in the Berg. The Falcons will be hosting the Raiders of Riviere, 5 o'clock puck drop. That'll be part of a doubleheader here on FATV. We will have Monty Tech, Fitchburg, and St. Bernard's playing in the game after that. Also, our next telecast here on FATV will have a doubleheader on Wednesday night, as we will have Monty Tech, Fitchburg hosting Littleton Bromfield at 5:30, then St. Bernard's hosting Assabet at 7:30. I'll have the call with potential announcers to be confirmed.
And that's assuming we're all dug out by Wednesday, right? That's the plan?
I'd like to believe that to be the case. MCLA controls the draw. Around to the left side, shot saved by Soderberg. Rebound thrown into the right side. Falcons able to backhand it down the zone, down the ice. That is so close. Won't get to the empty net. Won't get to the goal line either. MCLA will be able to pick it up and move up ice with 30 seconds to go. Falcons with a poke. Niles able to get a hold of the puck, trying to play it back to himself. Shane Green with good positioning gets control of it again. 20 seconds to go. Green up ice and thrown around. Soderberg rims it around the boards. This will be icing, and the clock will stop once the Trailblazer gets the hash marks, which they will with 8.6 to go on the clock. I wonder when Soderberg's backhanding around the boards, I hope it just takes a weird bounce off the boards and just starts angling itself towards the net.
The goalie goal is a rare and special thing.
Falcons will win the draw. Skaggs rims it around near side. Moore settles it. Isn't going to be able to do much with it. One more shot is blocked. Time expires. The Falcons win it 3-1.
I mean, are you getting deja vu to last year or what?
Last year, the Falcons got the first 3 goals. MCLA got one back. The timing was a little different this time, but the result was exactly the same. It's a classic Fitchburg State MCLA game, and the Falcons have yet another win over the Trailblazers. Since the Trailblazers revived their program, it's their 5th win in 7 tries.
You mentioned MCLA haunted by that 3-1 scoreline, Dan. They spent so much of this game since the early period of the second period, trailing 3-1, trying everything they could to get closer, to get back into this one, but they could not get it done. 3-1 is the final. Nola, it was a tremendous first period for Fitchburg State. Second and third, they got the job done, I think would be fair to say.
I think so too, and I think, that hot start in the first period is what carried them throughout this game. It was the small, gritty plays they were able to string through in the second and third that finished the game for them. I know they would want, a better last 2 periods from this game, but what matters is the score at the end of the day. You got the win. We're moving on with the season. 8 games left, all conference games. It's all about momentum from here on out.
Dan, Fitchburg State's now won 11 of their last 12 games. They definitely do have that momentum.
Absolutely. Coming away with the 3 points tonight, definitely significant. And to see them, a little bit of adversity as the game went on. The first period came so easy for them. The last 2 periods, not so much. You can see Freddie Soderberg and Rocco Stoles, 2 Michigan netminders, taking a picture together at the very end of the contest. And a couple of Trailblazers joining the prayer circle as well. The camaraderie is always so nice to see.
Yeah, Soderberg and Stoles both played very, very well. Stoles basically stood on his head to only allow 3 goals in the first period and then kept the Falcons out of the net for the remainder of this game. Noel, I think Fitchburg State's defense really carried them, especially in that third period. They did not let MCLA have too many very dangerous opportunities.
Yeah, they were blocking shots. They were collecting rebounds. Soderberg making that initial save. We saw so many times that rebound just being batted out of the slot. MCLA not even able to get a stick on it. So your goaltender makes a great save. You got to work off of that, and they did just that in these periods.
Falcons improved to 12-5. This season, 5-1 in the MASCAC. MCLA now 4-10-3, 2-3-1 in the MASCAC.
And we mentioned that point that Anna Maria dropped with their shootout victory. That point playing potentially a very large role right now. Fitchburg State with the win, they go to 15 points. That puts them uncontested atop the MASCAC through 6 conference games.
As it currently stands, Westfield's going to have a game coming soon enough. I know all the other games out of league tonight were later in the night. Westfield is actually at Salem at 7 o'clock. Framingham's at Riviere. Anna Maria had a non-league game tonight against Hiram, first-year team out of Ohio, who MCLA played early this season, got their first victory against the Terriers earlier this year, and got a loss against the Terriers, which is actually Hiram's only win thus far. Go figure. Those were some of the extremes, if you will. This MCLA team, it's been impressive to see how strong and fit they can be defensively, especially in the sense that they are only, the worst game they've ever had defensively this season was conceding just 5 goals. This is a team that doesn't get blown out. They're able to play a tough and gritty game, especially with the goaltending, with the support of their defense. Maybe they bend a little bit, but it's very hard to break them.
Very hard to get points on MCLA, but very hard for them to get in the net either. 3-1
is the final score. We want to thank our tremendous crew. Our director today was Robin Como, Travis Falk running graphics and audio and providing all of his excellent technical supervision as always. And our camera operators today, Nate Glennie hopped on a camera today for us. Thank you, Nate. Alex Fabrile, Evan Schackenbach, and Aiden Trueheart. I can read my own handwriting sometimes. Aiden Trueheart rounded out our camera crew. For Nola Patty and Dan Bullock, I'm John Gugerty saying, folks, thank you so much for being here. We will see you next time right here on FATV.